Have you ever felt ignored by someone you care about? It can hurt more than just feeling upset. For many women, being ignored brings a lot of emotional pain, stress, and even physical problems. Over time, it can damage relationships too. In this video, we'll talk about what happens when women feel ignored and why it's important to notice how they feel. Let's get started. Lesson 1: Emotional distress. Think about this: you're having a conversation with someone, and you're pouring your heart out. But they don't even look at you, they don't listen, they don't care. How would you feel? Betrayed, sad, angry? That's what happens when women feel ignored. When women feel ignored, it's not just about being overlooked for a moment. It's like a punch to the gut every time they try to connect or express themselves and get nothing in return. They feel like they don't matter, like their thoughts, feelings, and needs don't count. This emotional distress is more than just frustration, it cuts deep. Think of it like this: if you were trying to get someone's attention, and every time they just turned away or didn't respond, how long would it take before you felt completely invisible? That feeling of invisibility is soul-crushing. It's like being emotionally left out in the cold. If we don't do something about this, if we continue ignoring the emotional needs of the women in our lives, that pain only gets worse. You might think it's no big deal, that they'll get over it, but it's never that simple. The more often someone feels ignored, the more it eats away at their confidence and sense of self-worth. They start thinking, why should I even try to open up if nobody listens? And if this pattern keeps going, they'll start to shut down completely. What happens then? The emotional connection you once had is lost, and trust? Gone. It's not just about feeling bad anymore, it's about slowly eroding the bond you shared. Listen up: if you want to avoid this emotional disaster, start recognizing when someone is reaching out to you. Don't just look at your phone, your computer, or whatever's in front of you. Put that stuff down and pay attention. If you don't have time at that moment, tell them. Don't just ignore them. Acknowledge their presence, their thoughts, and their feelings. If you don't, you're just asking for emotional destruction, and no one wants that kind of mess. So, respect them now, or face the consequences later. Lesson 2: Increased stress. Imagine being in a relationship or friendship where you're constantly trying to get the other person's attention, but they act like you don't exist. It's like a constant pressure weighing you down. Women experience this kind of stress when they feel ignored. When women feel ignored, it's not just about feeling sad or upset, it builds up stress in their lives. Stress that they didn't ask for. They start thinking about why they're being ignored. They wonder if they did something wrong or if they're not good enough. This constant worry and overthinking create a mental burden. It's like walking around with a heavy backpack you can't take off, and the worst part? The backpack just keeps getting heavier as time goes on. Stress from being ignored makes it harder for them to relax, and it can lead to anxiety or even anger. It's exhausting to constantly feel overlooked, and the emotional energy spent on this stress can take a toll. If this stress continues and we don't make an effort to acknowledge it, it won't just go away. It will build up and spill over into other parts of her life. She might become irritable, less productive, or withdraw from social situations altogether. It doesn't stop at just feeling ignored, it starts to interfere with her ability to enjoy life. Eventually, the stress can impact her work, her health, and her relationships. If we don't stop it, the constant stress from being ignored will destroy her peace of mind. If you want to avoid this kind of stress, you need to be aware of how you're treating others. Ignoring someone is not a small thing, it's adding weight to their emotional well-being. So, listen when they talk, acknowledge their presence, and respect their feelings. If you don't have time, let them know. Don't just stay silent. That silence is stress they don't deserve. Don't let the situation get worse because, trust me, you don't want to deal with the fallout when it all explodes. Lesson 3. Physical health impact. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed by something that it started affecting your body? Maybe you couldn't sleep, your stomach hurt, or your head was pounding. That's what happens when women are ignored. The stress doesn't just stay in their minds, it starts affecting their bodies too. When women feel ignored, it's not just their hearts that hurt, it starts to show in their bodies. Imagine constantly feeling like you're not being seen or heard by the people you care about. It creates so much internal tension and anxiety that it spills out in physical ways. You might not see it right away, but it's their sleepless nights, headaches, stomach problems, and even fatigue. It's like carrying an emotional weight that you can't put down, and it wears you out physically. As much as people try to ignore the fact that stress and emotions affect the body, it's real. Ignoring someone emotionally can cause physical pain, and the longer it goes on, the harder it gets to ignore. It's not just about mental health, it's about her overall well-being. If we don't pay attention to how ignoring someone affects them, it gets worse. When stress becomes constant, the body can't handle it forever. The headaches turn into migraines. The tiredness becomes exhaustion. Over time, this can lead to more serious health problems, things like high blood pressure, anxiety, or even depression. No one wants to live like this, but that's the reality when women are ignored. If you don't take the time to really see them, to listen to them, they will keep carrying that invisible burden, and it will eventually break them down physically. If you care about someone, if you want them to feel loved and respected, you need to stop ignoring them. Acknowledge their feelings even if it's just for a few minutes. Those small moments of connection can make all the difference. If you keep ignoring someone, you're not just damaging their heart, you're damaging their body too. And you have the power to stop that. So, pay attention, listen, and show them they matter. If you don't, you might be the reason they suffer in ways you never expected. Lesson 4. Relationship strain. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were invisible? Like no matter how much you cared or tried, the other person just didn't notice? That's what happens when women feel ignored. It starts to tear the relationship apart. When women feel ignored, the strain on the relationship becomes unbearable. It's like trying to hold on to something that's slipping away. At first, it may just feel like a little disappointment, but over time, it eats away at the bond you once had. Ignoring someone isn't just about not listening to their words, it's about not caring about their feelings. And when this goes on, the emotional distance between two people starts to grow. They feel alone, even when they're not alone. Every conversation becomes harder, every moment feels more distant. The warmth, the connection, the love, it starts to fade, and all that's left is cold silence. Relationships aren't just about living in the same space, they're about feeling seen and valued. And if that doesn't happen, the relationship falls apart. Slowly, but surely. If you keep ignoring your partner, if you keep brushing aside their feelings, you're not just risking their happiness, you're risking the relationship itself. No one can feel loved and connected when they're constantly ignored. The more you ignore someone, the more resentment builds up. That hurt turns into anger. And that anger, over time, can turn into love lost. If you don't take action, if you don't make an effort to stop ignoring them, you'll find yourself alone, wondering why the relationship fell apart. And it won't be their fault. It will be because you didn't care enough to pay attention when it mattered most. Relationships require effort. You can't just expect them to work if you're not present emotionally and physically. Take the time to listen, really listen. Acknowledge their feelings. When they speak, make eye contact, respond with care. Don't make them feel invisible. If you ignore someone for too long, they will eventually start ignoring the relationship. If you want to save it, act now before it's too late. Show them that they matter, before the silence becomes too loud to ignore. Thank you so much for watching. If this video made you think or gave you a new perspective, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on more discussions like this. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt ignored in a relationship or noticed it affecting someone you care about? How did it make you feel? As author Brené Brown once said, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. Don't let the silence take over. Let's start these important conversations together. So, share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful content. See you in the next video.